Well, it's the Thanksgiving Day long weekend in the
Hmm.
US, and we give thanks to Kirk for for joining us today
Yes,
after a big ham lunch and
that's
uh,
right.
and still wearing that horrible mask.
It's delightful. And you know what? I have my doggy Ted here, who is a senior citizen rescue dog. So we really don't know how old he is. He's like totally deaf now. But I'm having him here just to remind you and all our viewers that yes, in just days now, 50. Okay, hang down. You got to go see the Joe Biden dogs at the White House? Yes, you're going to make it till then? Because yes, dogs will soon be back at the White House. But people say, how is it that Donald Trump doesn't have a pet? Oh, but Mike, he does. It's Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina. Yes, he walks him on the dolly. Sure. God only knows what Lady G does.
You know,
Now,
you're raising the ire of our producer
why is that, Mike?
because, and in fact, you're raising. Where's my false outrage? You're raising the ire of the host here. I mean, Donald has
You,
got a pet. He
yeah,
has.
who?
On his
Who?
head. It's his hairpiece.
Lindsey Graham. I don't know how many viewers know who Lindsey Graham
He's
is.
great.
He's this.
I like
Yeah,
Lindsey
right.
Graham. I like
Uh-huh.
he's wonderful.
Lindsey Graham, watch my lips. Listen to my words. Remind me if there's a Supreme Court nomination after the primaries have started, we will not hold a hearing on who's on the
Hmm.
Supreme Court and what ruling did we have. We had her vote, Amy Coney Barrett's vote, reverse the vote of the now departed Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the Supreme Court has now ruled that, hey, no problem. Religious institutions, we have a church here, no kidding, that classifies as a church here in Las Vegas. Penn Teller of Penn and Gillette, Penn and Teller fame, is Penn. That's not his name. Penn, yes, it is Penn Gillette.
Where
I
are
get these
you?
guys so
Makes
confused. I'm
sense.
having a little tryptophan coma after eating so much. You have to excuse me. But Penn of Penn and Teller actually has been involved with this organization. It's called the Church of Bacon. And the reason it's here in Las Vegas, it's an accredited church. And the reason it's called the Church of Bacon is because bacon is real and you can believe in bacon. But now I lost my train of thought. We might have
No,
to start the whole show over.
no, we don't. You know what? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Church of Bacon. Do you
Yeah.
think they were just hamming it up?
Oh, that's very good. Oh, now I know what I was talking about here. Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court ruled that you could have as many people to your religious services as you want. So they could have had, now based on the Supreme Court ruling, 10,000 people go to the T-Mobile Center and they'd be serving them lots of bacon. And there's nothing the government could do about it. So here you got religious organizations suing the government so they can bring people to super spreader events. It's kind of crazy, but that's where we are. And the fact is, Trump will, even though here Thanksgiving Day when we're videoing this, he's in the White House saying, massive fraud. I clearly won. I mean, this guy just won't let up. And you say, well, a lot of his supporters believe him. Look at his record. He claimed massive fraud when he didn't win an Emmy in 2005 when Ted Cruz beat him in the Iowa primary back in early part. I would have been February of 2016. Oh, massive fraud. This guy, I mean, it's going to be a wild ride. And of course, you had the pardon there of Michael Flynn, who not once, twice said, I'm guilty. I lied to the FBI about my dealings with Russia. Now he is pardoned. So who knows how many more are going to benefit from Trump's pardon pen before this is over, including perhaps his former campaign manager, Paul Manafort. So there are more to come. This is going to be a wild 50 days or so that we have. And Trump has now alluded that he'll leave the White House if the Electoral College confers the presidency on Joe Biden, and that would happen on December the 14th. All certification issues should be done by December the 8th, my birthday.
By the way, we need to acknowledge this segment of Asia Pacific Today is sponsored by Joe
Yes.
Biden and Kamala Harris. And I just thought I would mention that bit. But and I see again I've let the monster out of the bag there. Look at him; he's very excited about Joe Biden and Kamala. Now, Joe Biden, Kirk, Joe Biden may have the shortest presidency on record because he'll end up suffering back pain because, of course, the knives will be out to remove him, to install the very left agenda. And look, I mean, to back that up, Back to the Future with Washington, they're returning to the Obama days with their favorites, the insider deal making, and we mustn't forget the fawning press.
Well, we shall see. One thing's for sure, Ms. Harris, the vice president.
Is it Kamala or Kamala?
It's comma, like you use a comma in a sentence, comma and la. So Kamala. And what she did, she had a great, I'm going to send you the video so you might be able to insert it here. You have Kamala Harris. She knows how to cook. For her mic check for a show on MSNBC this week, she gave her recipe for cooking that holiday turkey. And I mean, I love her personality and the fact that I agree with her on many issues. You know, it's funny because you mentioned these things, Mike, but a lot on the left, they think they're not that big of fans of the vice president-elect because of her work when she was prosecutor in San Francisco, in Oakland, I believe, one of those North Bay cities. She's from Oakland, so I think it was Oakland. But then she became the attorney general. So some of her easy for me to say on Thanksgiving, prosecutorial temperament, and the fact, see, I got it out, prosecutorial temperament.
Say that three times.
Prosecutorial. There you go.
You pass.
See, thanks. And then she went on to become, of course, California's attorney general before being elected to the Senate in 2016 because it was too harsh. They say that she was too harsh on criminals and didn't cut them enough of a deal. So it's really funny because the left is very intense, and there are a lot of folks on the extreme left that aren't that happy about things that are going on because there is a centrist cabinet's been put in place. And a lot of people are saying, oh, my gosh, it's going to be so boring. And then people are like, yeah, that's what we want. You know, even me, I'm ready for waking up and not seeing what Donald Trump has tweeted. And, you know, I'm sure it's changed a little by the time you see this. But I was just scrolling through his Twitter feed. It's just crazy. And I don't understand. I still really have a difficult time understanding how people can be comfortable and confident going to bed with their pets and their children at night, realizing that Donald Trump is president, and that I have a real hard time. And I think this is something that sociologists will have to study going forward. Still, how in the world this man got so many votes, although he's now claiming that, you know, there's no way Biden got 80 million votes. And I think the important thing that needs to be remembered here when you have Trump claiming all this fraud and disingenuous activity taking place, if it was a rigged election, oh boy, did the Democrats do a terrible job at it. Speaking of Lady G, Lindsey Graham, the senior senator from South Carolina.
Love him.
By the way,
He's great.
Yeah, right. He took Strom Thurmond's place. And Strom Thurmond, there's a lot of bad things you could say about him. But
His
at least
name,
he had
first of all.
Strom, yeah, Strom. But at least the guy had gravitas. I mean, I met him a couple of times. I met him when I was a young man in the 70s. And then I met him again about 20 years later in the 90s. And I want to know what he was doing because he did not age at all between the 70s and the 90s. He looked the same way at 75 as he did at 95, as he stayed in the Senate until he was over 100 years old. It basically became his nursing home. And there are a lot of senators that are that old or getting close to that. You've got Chuck Grassley from Iowa, who's 87 years old now.
But you've got also Joe Biden. He's up there with him.
Oh, my gosh, Joe did you send him a birthday card? His birthday was November 20th.
He forgot.
He turned 78 years old.
He forgot.
No, but I think, Joe, it's going to be a situation where he is the man in charge, but he has people not tell him, like Trump, what he wants to hear. He'll have people that tell him what he needs to hear to make the appropriate decisions. I think he's got a great staff already. Tony Bilkett, who has appointed to be Secretary of State, had an amazing tale the other day about his stepfather, who was a Holocaust survivor, talking about what he said when the American tank came to liberate him, when he was liberated from the concentration camp. So it's really a touching story. You can tell This is somebody that cares about people, not just America, but people around the world. So there's going to be a whole new tone and tenor in the State Department. I think that's going to be the case for a lot of administrations. And, hey, 78, that's the new 65. Joe's going to be okay. I am not worried. I watched part of his Thanksgiving address to the nation yesterday.
He runs like the Thunderbirds. Have you seen him run? It's like the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds go. But in Joe's case, what's the Thunderbirds? Who am I? I'm Joe. Joe.
Yeah. The Thunderbirds, by the way, are based here in Las Vegas. They're the U.S. Air Force demonstration.
Yeah, but these are different Thunderbirds. So these are these puppets.
I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with the Thunderbirds that fly high in the sky over our house here in fabulous Las Vegas, but not the other.
Look, I was just, as I scratch my nose on camera, I was just actually scratching my nose.
Problem.
All class acting.
But I don't know where I am some days.
Some days. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I mean, because you're talking about Joe Biden and being making the right decision because he gets the right information.
But I have this dog that is all wet.
Yeah.
Look at that dog, all wet, coming up to get me. Go away, dog. That's a nice dog, but she's like a mess.
Look, I was saying something quite pertinent here, Kirk, and I've been disturbed.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've been kicked out, moved sideways because of a dog.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
A very nice dog. But I was just thinking about Joe Biden, and he's going to make the right decisions because he'll be given the right advice.
Right.
Look, as you were saying that, I just realised that the Church of Bacon must be down the road from where we broadcast, because as you were saying that, talking about Joe Biden making the right decision because he has the right information, I saw these pigs fly by, and I thought, wow, I'm just intrigued.
Miracles happen every day. But look at Wall Street. Donald, man, he did not waste a beat. He did not waste a beat getting out there with the Dow. That was kind of funny. When the Dow crossed 30,000. Oh, I did this. We've had this record 94 times or something in my administration. And that must have been the shortest amount of time he'd been out in the Brady briefing room at the White House. I think he was on stage on the dais for about 1 minute and 6 seconds, and of course didn't take questions. Finally, though, taking those questions today and says he'll leave, but it's just a continual undermining of faith in the electoral system. And you know what you got to remember? I was talking earlier, we got sidetracked, which happens to be sometimes. But if he's going to claim that this was a disingenuous, that this was a fraudulent election, then that means the down ballot candidates are illegitimately elected too. People like Mitch McConnell, we mentioned Lindsey Graham a number of times, John Cornyn, the senator in Texas, Joni Ernst in Iowa, Susan Collins in Maine, all those folks that were reelected. But were they really? Was it an election fraud? The Democratic congressman from Salt Lake City, a rare Democrat in Utah, he was defeated in a very close race. Now, is that fraud? We have a race in Iowa, in the 2nd Congressional District in Iowa, where the Republican right now is leading by 39 votes, 39 out of about 400,000 cast.
Wow.
So if you're going to believe Donald's claim, is that fraud? Is that fraud? What's going on?
Only in 4 states, and we know the states. They've got history. But look, that's another story. I think though, all this we put to bed.
Losing my light in the wind. Losing my light in the wind. Hold on. I got to put a weight. You go ahead and talk. I will try to.
No. You be the grip on set. There he is.
Yes. I don't have any weight. Here, hold on. I got to put some weight on it. We'll take one of our deflated pool floats from the summer.
Pool floats. They call those other names.
It's a shark. It's a giant shark, and we put it on the light stand.
Yeah,
because
we just love this sort of broadcasting.
I actually cracked a light last time. I don't know where I got the new bulb from, but it lasted a long time.
Oh my
I'm good with it.
The
things I do.
This is the new show for Home Show. It's called Politics and Home Show, and what it means is that we talk politics and then we wreck the furniture. Is that right?
No, we have Santa. It's a beautiful. Isn't this beautiful?
We should do the next show. We need to do the next show.
Gosh, it's so windy.
We need to. It's the skipper too, and but we need. As my head's looking at the producer here, going, what WTF? we need to do the next show as we wind this up because you're about to get blown away by Hurricane Iniki. We need to do the next show, please, please. We need to do the next show. 5 times I've said that, from the front, where that decorations are with the red door.
Yes, and I've sent you. We'll show them now. Show them what our front door looks like, Mike. You've got the picture.
Okay. All right. Look, that's his front door.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that?
I mean, look, you see what Kirk does in his spare time? He makes baskets. He weaves baskets other days, and he puts up Christmas decorations.
Well, you know, you might have seen Skype my I don't know, rate my Skype room.
Yes,
they rate people's looks. We have gotten, with 2 set changes before, we've gotten 10 out of 10 from rate my Skype room. So we'll try another one with this.
We'll do the next one from the front. We'll do it from the front gate.
All right, we have, that would be interesting.
That would be. Look, exciting times. I think the next week, the next week and a half. We have all these lawsuits happening. Probably a week and a half.
Trump's record is 1-38 now in court. It's just amazing. He's trying to stop the certification of the votes in Pennsylvania. And here's what the governor there, Tom Wolf, said about these efforts. They got a co-conspirator, a Commonwealth Court judge, which is a fairly low-level judge in Pennsylvania, named is Patricia McCollum, to try to block the certification. She's going to have a hearing. Maybe by the time you see this, it'll be on Friday, our time. Here's what the governor in Pennsylvania said. Since the birth of our nation nearly 250 years ago, no court has ever issued an order purporting to interfere with a state's ascertainment of its presidential election until today. That's what they said. And the state Supreme Court in Pennsylvania, the state Supreme Court, will certainly allow that certification to go forward. So the bottom line, whether Trump likes it or not, it's a flip of what we had in 2016. Exactly the same numbers, except for the Democrats. Joe Biden 306. Donald Trump, let's play the world's tiniest violin for Donald. Donald 232.
Look,
and then I hope Joe and Kamala will autograph one of these for Donald. He can put it up in his
Kamala
office
may be able
Florida.
to. Joe, he may not know how to, but you know, it's another story about Joe. You've got to see the TV series Thunderbirds from the 1960s.
Ted,
when
I know they talk crazy talk. You have to be quiet just for a minute.
Yes,
from the 1960s.
Look,
yes.
we'll wind this up. I'm just being showed up by the dogs. Kirk Clyatt and the dogs from Las Vegas, from Information City. Thank you very much.
That's right. And hey, I'd love to have you. If you made it this far, thank you. You're I don't know what you are. You're Ted, I know we're about done.
Bye-bye.
You're a glutton for punishment, but if you want even more, if this wasn't enough for you, follow me on Twitter. Ted does. Ted follows me on Twitter. It's @Clyatt, Clyatt, just my last name, @Clyatt. Love to have you aboard, Ted. It's okay, babe. Ted. I know Mike Ryan. He's just got to bark at him after a while.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Kirk. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, Mike.